Lesson 6.6, Solving Equations with Rational Numbers. Now, a couple of reminders. When you solve equations, you always do so by doing the opposite, and always do the same thing to both sides. Remember, you need to keep the equation balanced. Okay, here are 3 examples that you should be able to do on your own. They are just regular equations that we've already solved. The first one is multiplication, the second one is addition, and the third one is a 2-step equation. Pause the video and see if you can solve all 3 of them. Okay, on the first one, what we're going to do is we are going to divide both sides by 3. These 3 cancel. You're left with x equals 15 divided by 3 is 5. On the second one, the opposite of addition is subtraction. Subtract 4 from both sides. They cancel out. You end up with x equals. And here, if you think of both of these numbers as negatives, it means their signs are the same. So you add them together, and 8 plus 4 is 12, and you keep the negative. Last one, get rid of the addition first by subtracting 7 from both sides. That cancels out. You're left with 2x equals 15 minus 7 is 8. Now divide both sides by 2. They cancel out, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. You should have had no difficulty doing those problems. If you are having some difficulty, you need to make sure that you see me so I can give you the extra help that you need. Okay, now this is what we're focusing on today. This is a problem involving a fraction. If I rewrite it as x plus 4 over 9 equals 1/3. You can tell here the problem is that it has fractions. For some of you, working with fractions is what makes it difficult. But the steps are still exactly the same. It's an addition problem, so we're going to subtract 4/9 from both sides. These cancel out. We're left with x equals, and if you do 1/3 minus 4/9, we can't actually combine them yet because they do not have a common denominator. So again, we need to look for a common denominator. The denominator that would be common for thirds and ninths are 9, or is 9. Since this one here already is 4/9, we're going to just leave the 4 and put it where it belongs. Excuse me. And then 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 times 1 is 3. Now I can combine them. If I combine them, I end up with 3 minus 4. Signs are different, so I subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1. Denominator is a 9. And since the 4 is higher, I take the negative sign in front of the 4. And my answer is x equals negative 1/9. Now, here's number 5. We end up with 5/6 x equals 7. Well, what operation is it? It's multiplication. So we undo multiplication by doing division. We divide both sides by 5/6. They cancel out. We're left with x equals 7 divided by 5/6. Remember, the rules for division are keep the first one, change to multiplication, and then use the reciprocal. Make the 7 into a fraction by putting a 1 underneath it, and then multiply going across since there's no canceling. 7 times 6 is 42, 1 times 5 is 5. Now at this point, we need to change it into a mixed number. You do that by dividing 5 into 42 8 times with 2 left over. So your answer is 8 2/5. Now there's another way that we could have approached this problem. We could have taken 5/6 x equals 7 and multiplied by the reciprocal of 5/6. Well, what is the reciprocal of 5/6? The answer is 6/5. So you multiply this side by 6/5, and you multiply this side by 6/5. Again, make this 7 over 1. This will cancel. You'll end up with x equals 42 over 5. Notice it's exactly the same as this step here. 7 over 1 times 6 over 5. And then again, we would end up changing it to a mixed number and getting x equals 8 2/5. Okay. Now this problem has 2 steps involved. It has division and it has addition. Remember, you're going to get rid of your addition first. So we undo addition by doing subtraction to both sides. they cancel out. You're left with x over 3 equals 1/4 minus 2. Well, we can combine 1/4 minus 2 by borrowing here, make this 1, and make this 4 over 4. So now I have x over 3 equals, this part is bigger, so that will go first. We do 4 minus 1 is 3 over 4, and then bring over the 1, and then don't forget your negative sign. Your negative sign is here. So make sure that you bring that negative over as well. So now we have x over 3 equals negative 1 3/4. We undo the division by multiplying both sides by 3. This cancels. We're left with x equals. And here we need to make sure that we change this into a mixed number first. So we do 1 times 4 is 4 plus 3 is 7. So we have negative 7 over 4 times 3 over 1. There is no canceling. If you multiply, you end up with negative 21 over 4. If we change it back to a mixed number, we end up with negative 5 1/4. Now, there is an alternate method that I'm going to show you, and it's solving the exact same equations, but eliminating the denominators. You do that by multiplying every term by the LCM. So let's look at example number 4. Find your LCM. What is the LCM of 9 and 3? Well, the LCM of 9 and 3 is 9. So we're going to take that 9 and multiply every term by 9. So we're going to multiply the x by 9, we're going to multiply the 4/9 by 9, and we're going to multiply the 1/3 by 9. So 9 times x is 9x. Here, the two 9s are going to cancel, so I'm going to be left with plus 4 equals 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 times 1 is 3. Now notice we've eliminated the fraction for solving purposes. So now I may subtract 4 from both sides. That cancels out. I'm left with 9x equals negative 1. Divide both sides by 9, and you end up with x equals negative 1/9. And if you go back and look at this problem, how we solved it the other way, you can see that we have the same answer. Okay, this completes our video for today. If you have any other questions or if you're not sure how to do something, please make sure you take notes and write it down. Have a great day.